Historic downtown Plymouth has lots of opportunities for great selfie photos, but the most unique may be the 29 custom scallop shells sponsored by local organizations and painted by local artists. Learn the origin story of this interactive public arts installation from the Plymouth Chamber of Commerce, Icon Polly, the fabricator, and one of the local artists.
So planning has been months. We're so excited to have these arrive from Nebraska. A lot of work has gone into getting them here to today, working with the artists, pairing up the artists and sponsors and lining up everything. So it went off without a hitch, and now the next step is the artists are taking them as we speak, and they're gonna start painting them, and we're gonna have them out in a couple weeks.
Well, we're based out of Nebraska, and we started in about 1997. It was a hobby that turned into a business. And then in about 2004, we started doing community art projects and shipping three-dimensional shapes and objects around the United States and the world for artists to paint on.
So we're gonna kind of unveil them as we get them in this time. We have a lot, we have 29 again, and they're a little bit bigger, so it's a little trickier maneuvering them and handling them, and they don't fit as easy in cars and vehicles. So as we get them in, we'll start putting them out.
I got involved with the lobster crawl about 3 years ago. After about the third person online sent me the information that they'd seen floating around on Facebook. I then got to the point where I'm like, all right, I think by the time I actually submitted the work, the deadline had already passed. And I asked if they still needed artists, and they were still looking, so I submitted some artwork, and they passed it along to the sponsors, and the sponsors chose me, and that's pretty much how I got involved. So it was really cool to see like the whole community and you know, people were coming to our community just to do the lobster crawl and find all 30 some odd lobsters or however many there were. And it was just strange how the community kind of adopted them as kind of their belongings. And you know, when you think public art project, you don't think that the public is going to be possessive of it, and that's really what happened.
Well, you know how successful the lobster project was. Well, the scallop shell was a no-brainer for Plymouth because when the Mayflower and people settled, the scallop was the welcoming part of that era.
To me, that's the interesting part, to see how people interact with it, where it shows up. We are including a QR code on it, so people can scan the QR code and go to a web page and talk about their community and what they like about their community. So I'm really excited to see that, and I plan on interacting with that blog because it's just a little bit of interaction that wasn't there before. I don't know if I have any real expectation about how people interact with it. Of course, if we have dignitaries or famous people in town, it'd be super cool to see them, you know, post a selfie on Instagram or something like that. It's the expectation. Like, people already know about how the lobsters went. People are starting to look forward to the scallops. I'd just like to see people enjoy it. You know, 2020, 2021, it's just gonna be more people.
A poet laureate's role is to elevate poetry in a community's consciousness and to promote its values, history, and traditions through literary arts. The town of Plymouth is excited to appoint its first poet laureate and has mounted a competition that is now down to 4 finalists. Join the poets and poetry lovers at the Plymouth Public Library on February 20th when finalists Stephen Delbos, Robert Knox, Miriam O'Neill, and Tizina Pinchback will perform their original work. The Poet Laureate panel will be judging and selecting the successful nominee, who will read their work at public events for the next 2 years. Doors will open at 6 and readings will take place from 7 to 8:30. For more information, visit the library's website. In February of 1621, the colony of Plymouth established a militia guard to protect themselves from hostilities, consisting of able-bodied men and led by Miles Standish. On February 17th of this year, see history come to life at Pilgrim Hall Museum when the new Plymouth Guard reenactors commemorate this Establishment Day. Reenactors will read from early Plymouth militia rules, conduct a ceremonial election of officers, and conduct pike and musket drills on the museum front steps. It all begins at 10 a.m. Visit the Plymouth 400 website for more details. Experience the Plymouth Plantation as you've never seen it, after hours. Join the plantation for their Plymouth After Dark series, where you'll be in for a night of 17th century inspired cocktails, crafts, and some learning too. These themed events are on the third Friday of every month and will run through November. On February 21st, the theme is Candles and Cocktails, when you'll enjoy a rose-infused cocktail next to a crackling fire while dipping your own 17th century candles to take home. The night begins at 7 p.m. Visit the Plantation's website for tickets and more information. The Plymouth Farmers Market is a diverse showcase of local musicians and delicious food. From now through May, you can enjoy the best of our local farmers, bakers, and artisans indoors at Plymouth Plantation. The next Farmers Market will take place on February 17th from 2:30 to 6:30 p.m. For more information, visit the Plymouth Farmers Market website. Dogs and people can be best friends, but misunderstanding body language can and does contribute to the 4.5 million dog bites reported each year. To help us understand dog safety and body language, we're happy to welcome on set Kathy Akampora, who's from the Plymouth County 4-H program, and her beautiful dog, Merida. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
So talk to me about this program that you run through 4-H.
So it's an outreach program through the 4-H, and the Plymouth County sponsors all of our outreach programs. We bring animals into the classroom. We were reading stories to the kids and talking about animal care.
Yeah.
And I realized there wasn't really a book that said what I wanted to say. So we wrote our first book, and then I noticed children weren't interacting as safely as they should be
Yeah.
with dogs. So that's where Please Don't Hug
This
Me
came in.
from.
Okay. So let's talk about safely interacting with dogs. Now, a normal kid might see a dog here and come right up from behind and say, "Hi, doggy." Let's talk about what's safe behavior around dogs.
Okay, well, first they always should ask, because some dogs don't like children.
Yep.
Some dogs aren't used to children, or they could be sick, or the owner could just be busy.
Okay.
So that
So you
would
ask
be,
the owner.
Ask the owner, and
And if the dog has no owner with it?
don't approach a stray dog, because you don't know what's up with that dog.
Okay.
That's the first thing we teach.
Okay.
And then you want to come up about 2 feet away and stand with your hands at your side, because a lot of people do this.
Yeah.
Well, the dog doesn't really know what you're up to.
Right.
And if you have a dog that's, say, a rescue or has been abused, it's going to be hand shy.
Yep.
So if you stand here, they'll get to know you in a non-threatening way.
Okay.
And then ask the owner, where's the best place to pet them? Some dogs don't like it on the top of their head.
Yeah.
Merida happens to like it. Most dogs will accept it down here first, because that builds their confidence.
Sure.
And then allow you maybe to go to their head.
Okay. Now, what about when you see the dog's tail wagging, you automatically assume the dog is incredibly happy?
Yes.
Is that a wrong assumption?
It's partially correct. If the tail is high and fast,
Yep.
then the dog is nervous or overexcited.
Okay.
And that could lead to aggression.
Okay.
So I would avoid a dog that the tail is rapidly
Yep.
wagging up over their neutral position.
Okay.
If the tail is between their legs, they're nervous or frightened.
Right.
Again, avoid that dog as well.
Okay. Okay. Now, what about their facial expressions? What can you tell about a dog's mood?
So you can tell an awful lot by their ears, their eyes, and their mouth.
Okay.
So if you look at her ears, they're pointing towards me, they're alert. That's a happy, alert dog.
Okay.
If her ears go back slightly, good mama kiss, good kiss. She's not gonna do it. The ears would go back like this gently.
Yeah.
That's kind of a love expression,
Okay.
or relaxed, happy.
Yeah.
Sometimes the ears will turn one forward, one back, like if she heard a noise behind her.
Oh, wow.
That's a sign of alertness.
Yeah.
But if the ears are flat back, turned back around the head, that's aggression. So you want to
Okay.
watch that. And excuse you, Mary. The eyes.
Yeah, now that was very interesting. I'd never heard of this before. Can you explain the whites of their eyes?
Okay, so the whale, it's called a whale eye.
Okay.
And they will show the whites of their eyes when they are giving you a warning. First, they'll look away from you. It's kind of their way of saying, leave me alone. Then they will show you the whites of their eyes. And Mary will do that for you. Mary, eyes. She's doing it for the camera at this point. There we go. Come here, eyes. Yes. Did you see the whites of the
Yeah.
eyes? So she will show the whites of the eyes. She has small eyes, so it's
Yep.
hard to see.
Yep.
But most dogs will really show it if they were angry. Merida, can you sit, please? Sit. Good girl. Another thing they'll do is they'll narrow their eyes
Yep.
if they're angry. But a bright eye like this is a happy eye. Yes, it is.
Are you happy?
She
You're
is
such a good
happy.
girl. Now, what about, I've noticed when there's a dog in a car, kids automatically will go up and
Yes.
rap on the window, or if the window's open, they'll stick their little fingers in.
So I tell them that you wouldn't want a stranger coming up to your car because you're trapped in the car and you can't get away.
Right.
Well, dogs don't like it either. They can't get away from you. It's their space.
Yep.
And they're going to bark at you, and it
Okay.
gives them stress. When a dog is stressed, they're often going to show some signs of stress, such as a big yawn where they show their teeth. Often you'll see children playing with the dog and they'll yawn.
Hi.
Mary won't do that unless she's stressed. I
Okay.
can't get her to
Can
do
you
that
sit
on
down?
command.
Can you
Mary,
sit?
you
Sit.
Sit, girl.
Good girl.
But they'll also lick their lips. Lick your lips like that. And if they give a tongue flip like that, they're trying to appease themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they'll lick your hand or
Mm-hmm.
their leg or a couch, and that's actually producing endorphins in
Mm-hmm.
their brain, so it makes them feel a little better. Okay, you can lie down now.
Now, when the dog shows their teeth, clearly that's aggression.
Yes,
Always.
that is. Pretty much
Yeah,
always.
yeah.
I mean, we have a dog that's very inappropriate and he smiles at you. There are dogs that smile.
And show their teeth.
But he looks
Yeah.
terrifying. So mostly if the dog is lifting their lip
Yep.
like this, they're
Yep.
generally a snarl. It's a warning.
Okay.
They'll sometimes show one, we call it a snaggle tooth, like that. They'll show that one canine as a warning if you're near their food.
Okay.
And I tell children, just stay away from their food. You wouldn't want people touching your
Your food, right,
So don't
right.
touch theirs.
Right. Now, another thing that I found fascinating in your what you wrote was that you don't stare at a dog in their eyes the way you do with a human.
Exactly.
I didn't know that. Why not?
Well, it's stress. It's a challenge in dog body language. So when you stare at a dog in their face, the worst thing you could do is this. They can't get away from you. And you see she's kind of looking around like,
Yeah,
I'm
what
really
are you doing?
uncomfortable."
Yeah.
Because it's a threat in
Okay.
their language. Yeah.
So if you're looking at a dog, you might just look at them for a second and then look away.
Yeah, well, you
and-
can look at them. Just don't
stare
hold
at
their
them.
face and stare right into their
Okay.
eyes.
Now, if a dog is chasing you,
Yes.
now that I know kids will sometimes taunt a dog, not intentionally.
Yeah.
But then the dog will come at them and they will hightail it.
Yes. Well, you don't want to run because then you're setting off their prey drive, so they're going to just chase you. That's their instinct.
Okay.
Is to chase something that runs.
Yep.
Certain breeds are more prone to that. Like a collie is a herding breed. They're going to nip at your heels thinking you're a sheep. That's instinct. Where terriers chase rats, so they're
Yep.
going to chase.
Yep.
But I tell the kids, if you don't want the dog to bother you, you make yourself really big and still and look away.
Look away from the dog.
Yep.
Don't move. Cross your arms. Just be a statue, basically.
Statue or a tree.
Okay.
So there's a
Yep.
whole campaign, be a tree.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, when kids do get bitten by a dog, what do you do?
Well, first thing they should do is always tell an adult.
Yep.
And if a dog is attacking you, you obviously want to curl and protect your ears, your face,
Yep.
your neck. But you want to tell an adult, and you should contact the owner of the dog.
Yep.
And if it's just a nip, let them know the dog nipped.
Yep.
Or the animal control.
So, when a family gets a dog for the first time, what kind of training do you recommend for the dog and for the family?
I recommend that you always take the whole family to the training. And there is trainers everywhere. There's some that come to your house. You could go to stores for
Yep.
training. And everyone in the family should be involved in training, even the little children, because they all need to be on the same page.
Okay, so everyone needs to learn the same things to look for, the same ways to approach the dog.
And the same commands, the same mechanisms of doing things. So, for example, let's say you went sit like this, and somebody else went sit like this.
Oh.
The dog's going to be a little confused
Sure,
and
sure.
a little conflicted.
Yeah.
And they're not going to be as accurate for you
Okay.
when you train them. And also, if the youngest member of the family doesn't train them, the dog is going to think himself not, I won't say beneath. The dog's going to think he's
He's the
more
boss?
important than the little
The
guy.
little kid? Yeah.
So I recommend to families that the youngest members
Feed the dog?
feed the dog.
Okay.
Yes.
What other things should everybody know about dogs?
I think that everybody should know that you need to train your dog, and your dog should definitely have basic manners. It should always come when it's called. It should have a good sit and a good down and an emergency down.
Okay.
Because you never know if that dog leaves the house. You want to be able to yell down, and the dog will drop so it doesn't get hit by a car.
Okay.
I also recommend that if you get dogs, you touch them all over so they're conditioned to being touched.
Yep.
You're less likely to have someone get bit.
Okay.
So if you get a puppy, when we were training Merida, we would touch her everywhere like this. We would pull her ears and give her a treat.
Yep.
We would touch her behind.
Yep.
We would pull her tail slightly. We would touch her feet.
Yep.
So that she'll allow the vet to do things.
Gotcha.
Every owner, that's a responsibility.
Okay.
You should always train your dog. And it's not just so that your dog will be like this. It's so that your family and your friends will
Be safe. Now, when the dog rolls over onto its back and puts all four in the air, which they do a lot.
They want
and
a belly rub.
Yeah, they clearly, right? That's your one opportunity to go ahead and rub their belly.
Yup.
Okay.
And if they're sitting on your feet, for example, it means they're very comfortable with you.
Okay.
And they have a good relationship, especially if their back is to you. That's a sign that they're very comfortable, they're very secure around you.
Excellent. All right. Any other tidbits?
I have one thing.
Okay.
Whether you adopt a dog or buy from a breeder, make sure you do your homework, because there's a lot of dogs that come into shelters or rescues from different situations. Everyone should research what breed would be best for their home.
Okay.
Because a lot of shelters end up with unwanted dogs because somebody didn't do their research. They
Right.
saw a cute puppy and they didn't realize it needed an hour of exercise every day.
Right.
Or that it needed training, or that it had certain characteristics that are normal to the breeds.
Yep.
And even if it's a mixed breed, it's going to have some behaviors that the breeds that make him up
Okay.
are inside
Right.
him.
And finally, and I think this should be common sense, but when there's fireworks or really loud noises, you want to try to protect your dog from that, correct?
Exactly. Yep. One thing we did with our dogs, it's called Click to Calm, and you can always Google it. But we use this thing called a clicker, and it just is a marker. But it produces endorphins in their brain. You can also use treats and the word yes, which is a marker. And when we knew things were coming up that were scary, we would click and go, yes, good girl, yay. So none of my dogs have ever been afraid of thunder or
great.
fireworks or any of
So
that.
there is a way to try to temper that,
Absolutely.
temper their natural
Absolutely.
reaction.
And I mean, that's something you would do from puppyhood.
Right.
As
It's all part of
once
training.
it's already established.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to go
It is
back.
easy to train these kind of things, but to get those ingrained behaviors, that
Yeah.
take a lot of time.
Well, Merida, you have been a wonderful guest. You're a good girl. She's looking at you, not me.
There you go.
Who's this woman talking
Hey,
to
you
me?
want to wave bye?
Bye, Merida. Bye.
Sit, Mer.
Can you say bye?
Say bye. There you go.
Bye, sweetie.
Would you like her to do a trick for you?
Sure.
All right,
Let's
give-
end with a trick.
Let's do a math problem.
Okay.
So give me a math problem where the answer is 4 or less.
2 plus 2.
What's 2 plus 2? Good girl. Thank
Very
you.
good.
Hey, say bye. Hey,
Bye.
stand up. Oh, she doesn't. She's near the edge. Stand up, Mary. Okay.
Yeah, and to give Mary a break here, dogs usually are not up on a platform.
Yes.
So the dog is used to actually being on the ground.
Well, and it's blackness here,
Yeah.
so in her eyes, dogs don't see red very well, and or actually they see red. They don't see the green. So to her, this is kind of a mottled color, and there's black.
So she doesn't know what's down here.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, Kathy, thank you so much.
Thank
and
you.
if people need more information about this program, where would they go?
They can contact the Plymouth County Extension 4-H.
Okay.
You want the number?
Sure.
774-404-7020.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. And thank you, Merida. Goodbye, sweetie. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.